Hello and welcome to Solent. Hello and welcome to Solent Sports News. Coming up on today's programme, the post-mortem begins at Southampton. After a 9-0 killing, do Saints fans think their team will be heading to heaven or hell? England are getting ready for a World Cup final, but how interested are people in Southampton? We've asked our reporter to try and gauge public opinion. And there's another ball which is getting people moving. Find out what's spiking people's interest in the city. Now, what a weekend for Saints. The devastation of defeat still hangs in the air after a shocking 9-0 loss. Manager Ralph Hasenhüttl has taken full responsibility and players have since donated their wages to charity as something of a reprieve. Leanne Goodall is live at St Mary's with more.
Thank you, Benji. Now, if you're a Saints fan, you'd be forgiven for thinking that you'd awoken from a nightmare this weekend. Despite terrible weather conditions, loyal Saints fans gathered in high spirits ahead of the match on Friday. What they didn't know is that their hearts would be breaking just a short time later, when they'd suffer their biggest Premier League defeat. Earlier today, we went out onto the streets to ask people for their thoughts. The mood in Southampton still feels sombre. Lifelong supporters Sharon and Philip Eyre were there watching as the horror unfolded on Friday night. Thank you both for coming in to talk to us today. So tell us, what was going through your minds as it all unfolded?
Pretty much despair, to be honest. Couldn't really believe what was happening in front of us. Didn't expect it, so...
No, really heartbreaking, to be honest. And after 2, it was just like, do we leave now? Because we can't actually bear to watch our team get scored on again. Almost like if we weren't there, it didn't really happen.
And did you leave?
We did.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think lots of fans did leave, didn't they?
Yeah, we've never left a game early before, but we had to.
Okay. So it's clearly a difficult time for the team, and we've heard today that Saints players have actually donated a day's wages to the Saints Foundation. Have they done enough?
I think it's a good start. It's a good gesture. Maybe it could have been a week's wages, but yeah, it kind of stepped in the right direction, really.
Okay. Fans like yourselves, you pay a lot of money for season tickets.
Yeah.
What are you getting back for your money at the moment this season, and is that justified?
No, I mean, I haven't seen a win at home since April, so it's really hard to go along, and you kind of do wonder they could be doing a little bit more for the fans, really. Perhaps not so much light shows at the beginning and more, focusing on the team and the club and its fans, really.
With the 2 matches against Man City looming this week, what do you think is going to happen next, and are you going to get behind them?
I think the fans still need to get behind them. I don't think the fans expect as much being away to Man City, but as long as there's kind of a reaction and a bit of effort, passion,
yeah,
and they're showing they're going in the right direction.
They play hard and they try hard, I think the fans will be a lot happier, win or lose.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely have to back the team.
And do you feel that they tried on Friday?
No.
No, I don't. I think they kind of...
The mindset wasn't right, and I wonder if there's something perhaps deeper within the club going on.
Yeah, kind of things.
Okay, thank you very much for coming to talk to us. It's clearly a very difficult time for the club, and the future of Saints remains uncertain. Benji, back to you in the studio.
Thanks very much, Leanne. Earlier today, I spoke to BBC Radio Solent's Jordan Clark to ask for his thoughts and to break down the situation in further detail. So Jordan, you were at St Mary's on Friday to commentate on the match. What was the atmosphere there like?
Interesting, to say the least. It didn't last very long. I think it was the third, possibly fourth goal that went in when supporters started to leave the ground. It was quite obvious that they weren't going for their half-time pint or sausage roll, whatever they were going for, and I think were walking out in disgust at what they were seeing.
So obviously Ryan Bertrand got sent off early on in the game, but what exactly, apart from that, went wrong?
For me, although people will look at a 9-0 defeat in isolation on Friday night, I think it's actually a much bigger picture and problem for Saints over the last 2 or 3 years, and it's kind of probably all just built up to that point on Friday. Yes, in terms of the game itself, the red card didn't help, and then there were some strange tactical decisions like Danny Ings playing left wing with Nathan Redmond up front, which maybe could have helped on the evening and stopped it being quite so bad for Saints. But yeah, ultimately I think it was much bigger than just a 9-0 defeat on one evening.
Earlier today, the club released a statement announcing that players and staff have donated their wages from Friday's game to the Saints Foundation. Do you think this measure goes far enough?
Probably not, but they had to do something, I think. When you probably think about how much these players are paid these days, one day's wages is going to be a lot of money for the Saints Foundation, and it's great to know that they're going to be getting that kind of sum to continue the work that they do. But when you think about how much they earn, they probably could have donated an awful lot more, maybe something like a week's wages.
This result leaves Southampton in a pretty perilous position in the relegation zone. What's next for them, and do you think they can turn it around?
Well, what's next is back-to-back games against Manchester City, which is probably the last thing that you need off the back of a 9-0 defeat. It doesn't look good at the moment. The home form is the biggest concern. You know, it's not just a 9-0 defeat on Friday against Leicester. Their home form has been poor right back to last season, the end of last season, since the last time they won at home. I think it was against Wolves, April time off the top of my head. And if you're not winning at home, then naturally people are going to be concerned, start to talk about potential relegation come the end of the season. That needs to change quickly for Southampton if they're going to turn things around, whether they've got the players, the personnel to do that, like we mentioned earlier about the fact that they've not been able to recruit a great deal. You know, I would probably be a little bit concerned about what direction Southampton are heading in at the moment, certainly.
Jordan, thank you very much. Tough times for Saints ahead, it seems. England have begun their preparations for the Rugby World Cup final next weekend. Doug Webber reports.
Elation for England. England will be facing their old foes, South Africa, who they played in the 2007 World Cup final. England head coach Eddie Jones is looking forward to the game.
Players understand they haven't done anything yet. The most important week's coming up, and we're excited to be here. You know, the only thing I sense is excitement about what the team can achieve this week.
Springboks coach Razia Rasmussen suggests they will need to improve to raise the trophy.
Yes, I think he's right. There's definitely some areas in our game which must improve if we want to win. But, you know, we think we're in with a chance. We've got a 6-day turnaround. I think we will go and the grind it out route.
Ex-England player Jamie Noon faced South Africa at the 2007 World Cup.
Well, me and my family are going to be cheering for England all the way, and hopefully they can do us proud. They've done so well so far, so I think they seem really focused on the job at hand, and I think it's going to be massive for the country and hopefully for rugby as a whole.
Out on the streets of Southampton, I spoke to some of the locals about their opinion on England's success so far.
I think it's amazing. I think it's brilliant. It's great for England to beat the team, to beat New Zealand. I mean, what an achievement. It's just fantastic.
I mean, I'm generally a football fan, but now rugby, showing things like this, now rugby's going to go to another level altogether.
We're going to have to get the ball out quickly from the scrum because South Africa have got a massive pack, so they'll try and dominate around the pack.
Can't wait till next weekend to watch the final. I just think it's absolutely brilliant.
England are 80 minutes from rugby immortality this Saturday morning. Kickoff is at 9 a.m. Doug Webber for Solent Sports News, Southampton.
Lewis Hamilton has claimed his 10th win of the year at the Mexican Grand Prix. The 5-time world champion started in 3rd place on Sunday, but managed to fight his way to 1st place to claim victory in Mexico. Barring any major hiccups, Hamilton will surely clinch the 6th championship of his career next Sunday at the US Grand Prix. A recreational volleyball team has been created at Solent University. Valia Pilianidi reports.
What if you don't know how to block, serve or spike? Solent University is now giving you a fair shot to learn how to do so.
It's one of the other sports I also find very, very fun to play. And the team, everyone that participates in recreational makes it 10 times better.
This team offers the chance to Solent students to get to know the sport better and get some basic volleyball skills.
When I applied for uni, I kind of just saw the volleyball team and just came into it because I wanted to play games and just socialise and have fun with everyone.
Obviously, if you've never played volleyball before, I'd recommend going to the recreational, just to start with.
The UK is not traditionally the country to play volleyball at. That's not a problem.
Everyone's been really helpful, especially when I actually joined in, everyone was, some people didn't know how to play volleyball, and everyone that was in the team kind of helped the new people, and they helped them how to, what you should be like, and what's the basic of the volleyball game.
Most of the people in the UK love football, but how many of them actually like volleyball?
So unfortunately around UK there's not a lot of volleyball, so our main goal is make the people come, giving them chances to learn the game, learn the experience, and also have some friends.
For Solent Sports News, Valia Pilianidi.
Roger Federer has withdrawn from the Paris Masters. After winning his 10th Swiss title, Federer announced he is pulling out in order to pace himself for the ATP Finals in London next month. With a spot in the event secured, he does not want to make the same mistake as last year, where he entered the finale with a niggling injury. Tiger Woods has won a record-equalling 82nd PGA Tour title. His victory in Japan at the Zozo Championship draws him level with Sam Snead, a record that was set in 1965. This was his first event since undergoing a 5th knee surgery. Woods hopes to return to the country next year to compete at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. That's all from us for now, but remember to keep up to date with all the news online at solentjournalism.co.uk, follow our YouTube channels, Solent Sports News and Solent Sports News Radio. Thank you very much. I've been Benjamin Rees. We'll see you next week.